Hey everybody, hope you're enjoying my great screensaver I've got of me and my daughter here. I'm going to take you into the because today we're going to be looking at the low-hanging system by Rachel Rolfe, I think, LHS. I'm going to be talking about this one a bit. If you haven't seen any of my brutal reviews before, the first one I did was on the Proven Amazon course by Jim Cockram, and in that I explain a little bit my philosophy of kind of who I am and basically why I'm doing this. So I'm not going to go into that again. Just take a drink of my tea, and we're going to get straight into it. No affiliate links, no BS. This is just a full-on honest review. So here's what the low-hanging system looks like. This was from SmartMember. I think they just recently moved the course, but the low-hanging system is essentially all about print-on-demand dropshipping. If you don't know what either of those are, well, you probably will know what those are because, I mean, presumably, otherwise you wouldn't be looking for a review on the course. But basically, this is about how you can take designs that you make in kind of Photoshop or whatever, put them on mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, and then sell those things on Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, whatever you want. So, first of all, this was my kind of first introduction to the world of print on demand, but it's something I'm quite deep into now, and something I'm kind of really enjoying. So, I had quite a lot of success, relative success. Again, it's all relative. We're talking $8,000-9,000 on Etsy in November, December. Then I was actually suspended on Etsy in January, so that cut the old money hose off there. But also on eBay and then on Amazon. I've come from private label for years, and I did okay in private label. Again, we're not talking millions, but not bad, respectable level. And I transitioned because I wanted to essentially own my customers. So anyway, first I was experimenting with this because I thought, well, that sounds like a good business model, and it's quite creative. So it teaches you kind of all these things, and they have some other cool stuff as well. There are some pros and there are some cons, and we're going to get to all of those. So the first thing I just want to show you is what the course looks like. So you can see there's 97 lessons, and you can scroll down, and it gives you an about the course, the process, quick start, idea, concepts, which niches you can enter, how to make the designs, how to put the designs on the mock-ups. Then there's ones for bracelets. Different software they have. I mean, for those of you that might be uncomfortable with Photoshop, again, they full information on intellectual property and copyright, which is kind of a big topic in anything print on demand and stuff. Design resources, launches, how to list on Etsy, how to set your store up, how to do keywords. Not the best thing on keywords, I will say, because keywords is kind of actually, especially Amazon keywords, is something I specialize in myself. And this wasn't the best. It was okay though. And you can just see, like I said, there's 97 videos in here, and everything is beautifully and logically structured. And I kind of went through pretty much everything. And they've added new things as well. They've added like how to sell on Amazon.com if you're international, how to get reviews. Rachel has done a phenomenal job on this course. It's probably the best course I've seen. I mean, it's definitely up there. Adrian Morrison's Shopify course is pretty excellent. The Amazing Selling Machine, again, like the detail and the work that's gone into it. So as say compared to Pack, which is just like a vomit of links and hashed out webinars, this isn't the case. Rachel has done this, and she's done a phenomenal job. Some of the videos have other people, like an interview. There was one with some lady who's supposed to be good at keywords and stuff. Rachel's done an amazing job, right down to things from getting the buy box, which is a problem if you have a new Amazon account. And she talks to other people. You see this is like an expert interview, and there's bonus stuff. It's a phenomenal job. Honestly, she really has done an amazing job. It's organized fantastically. Pretty much everything you could think of is covered, and it's done in a logical way, step by step. There's a resource section. This is a very, very good store. If you want to get into print on demand stuff, if you want to kind of learn about the space, about what people are doing with things like mugs and freaking aprons and all that stuff, the low hanging system is very good. I have to say, I mean, there's not many things I can really fault the system. There's a few things I'm going to go into, but they're actually quite minor. The only problem I have with the course at the moment is I think the price point has gone up to about $1,000, I think, and personally I think that's a little bit high. Um, Again, this is relative, and the usual marketing bullshit thing people say is, yeah, but if you make $100,000, then $1,000 isn't a lot. But it's like, yeah, but that presupposes I'm going to make all this money. Nobody can ever guarantee you're going to make money. You might not, you might flop, or you might make a lot of money. So it's a kind of marketing get out of jail free card that people use. Yes, but the value is actually worth $1 million. Well, I think, well, you could say that, but I could say no. So I think it's a bit pricey. I got this for $300 about a year ago. I can't even remember. And to me, I think that was a really good price point. I think this is easily worth maybe 5 or 6, but it's a really good course. So even if you did, even if you did decide that you needed to spend $1,000, or perhaps you've got plenty to spare. Everyone's budget's different. I just want you to know that you are going to get a very good course for your money. You are going to get solid value for money. Next thing I want to talk about is the Facebook group. They have a really good Facebook group, which is a private Facebook group for people that buy the course. That's really good. A very supportive community, generally very helpful. There's a guy in there called Carl, and he's just like lightning fast answering all the questions. He's incredibly knowledgeable. It's a very very good experience, very streamlined. Again, very positive place. I've only got a few little niggles that I'll say. Moving on to the bad points. So, like I said, I call things the way I see them. Okay. What can I say that's bad about the course? About the course, nothing really. I mean, to be honest, I can't say that much bad about the course. What I have a problem with the way this course is marketed. This course is marketed pretty much everywhere as, if you've seen it from like the webinars or some of the email lists you're on. I got it from Jay Boyer. That was where I first heard about it. And I bought one of his ebook kids book courses, which is pretty decent. And I'm on his list as well, and he obviously quite often introduces new people, a bit like Dan Hollings. They're affiliates as well. They make an awful lot of money off affiliate programs, but they don't just recommend anything. So the way this course is usually sold is, this lady makes butt ugly text designs, slaps them up on a few products, lists them on Amazon. She doesn't have any inventory. She doesn't spend any money on ads, and she's making 5 figures, 6 figures, 50K on one mug. And it's like, wait, okay. First time I bought the course, the first time I saw that, I wasn't really that interested. I mean, because I've learned, as you need to learn as well, to kind of tune out a lot of the marketing speak, text, copywriting stuff you see, okay? Every course that's ever advertised always rolls out the guy who's got the best results, and then they have a little baby disclaimer in the bottom saying, but these results may not be typical. Okay, it's like, it's like the symptoms they list on those medication adverts. It's like, look, all right, I'll watch the webinar. So I watched the webinar, and I thought, yeah, this sounds good. I can see how this works. What I like about it is it's drop shipping. I've come from private label where I have to continuously keep products in flow, manage them from China. If they get stuck for an inspection at port, which happened to me once, it screws up all my cash flow completely, because I need my stock to be on Amazon. Everything just gets messed up, and it kind of, it's pretty. Private label's not really difficult once you've got it, but it's kind of a headache managing the inventory and when it's coming from China and stuff. So I was thinking, yeah, okay, drop shipping. I like the fact this comes from the US. I can see how this works. It involves designs and stuff like that. But when the course was recently kind of re-advertised, and I read the email again, and it's like, oh yeah, oh this lady just does this, and this, and she doesn't spend this, and it's like, yeah, but that's actually a lie, because I've been in this community for, well, I don't know, quite a while now. I've been in the group. I'm fairly active in the group, um, and I've worked with their system a lot, and I'm like, well, that's actually none of that's true at all. She's not just a simple lady. Rachel's a very clever, very high level internet marketer, extremely successful, um, very financially successful in this game, very sophisticated, and to say she has no inventory, that's a lie, because a lot of her most popular mugs, the ones that uh, have sold the best, have been sent into FBA. Okay, that's not pure drop shipping. That's buying up in advance. There was one mug that was like the first case study one was a 50k in December mug kind of thing, and it's like, well, if you've sold 50k's worth, you must have had to have sent in 20, maybe more. Obviously, don't know what the margins are. So it's like, well, that's a lie. You're trying to appeal to a pure drop shipping thing, but you can't say she's got no inventory. No, she definitely does have inventory. She spends no money on ads. That's a lie. She advertises everywhere. She's always testing ads, and she writes about it in her blog. She documents all she tests things with Instagram influencers. She's a super smart lady. She's always testing something and doing something and trying something, whether it's paying Instagram influencers for shout outs, paying bloggers, paying for Facebook ads, split testing the hell out of Facebook ads, running Etsy ads, running Amazon pay-per-click ads. Not only does she advertises probably everywhere it's humanly possible to advertise, and she does it, and she's very good at it. So there's that. She does advertise. That does mean spending money. And then the final thing, with no VAs, no assistants, no help. Again, no, completely yes. She makes some designs herself, but she's documented in blog posts and things before. There's a very structured workflow that they have where they crash the niche design ideas. They find things they like. They have designers, and then the designers churn out the designs, and then they have somebody upload those designs for them. She's got an extremely refined system of doing things. It's called the low-hanging system. That word system isn't just I randomly flick shit up on the internet and ooh, sales. No. She has a system. So my problem with this is it essentially appeals to a certain type of person. It appeals to the kind of person that doesn't have much money, that doesn't want to bother with inventory, and it also appeals to kind of, she puts up these boring but ugly text designs on mug. That appeals to somebody thinks to himself, oh well, I don't know how to do Photoshop, so that might work for me. And when the reality is, it's actually a lot more complicated than that. It isn't complicated, but it is complicated. Okay, I've seen a lot of 60-plus-year-old people struggling with very basic, say for me or some other people, very basic concepts. These people do struggle, but they do get given help. But the point is, the message that goes out makes it seem a lot easier than it is, and a lot less systematized. No. There's a very good system she has in place, and there's a lot of advertising, and there's a lot of very clever things going on. And she does teach all of this in her system and in her blog, and you can learn it too. But that's not just false marketing. That's just an outright lie. It's an outright lie to convince a certain type of person reading that to sucker them in. And in fact, I was so disgusted, I wrote Jay an email like some ridiculous, sat there hunched over my computer, but it just pissed me off so much. And I said, look, you're just telling a lie. Okay, look, you've got some integrity. You're not a complete piece of shit. you could at least, if you're going to say that, follow it up with a prefix that she has a system and you can learn it, jump on the webinar, and you can find out more. That would at least make it, that would at least make it more honest. And to say but ugly, as if to say, that makes people think, oh, I can just put shit on mugs and t-shirts and, oh yeah, people are going to buy it. People aren't stupid, okay? Let's not treat people like they're fucking idiots. People, well, okay. Sometimes you could argue that there is a percentage of people that are idiots, but it doesn't mean they're just going to buy complete pure shit that you put on a mug or a t-shirt. That's not true, okay? They just confused a simple text design with but ugly. There's nothing but ugly about a simple text. It's just a simple text design. It's not a super complicated image, okay? Some people like simple text things. It works extremely well for some things. It doesn't mean it's but ugly. It doesn't mean you can have some shit font, horrible ass color with a frickin' t-shirt about a strawberry and Times New Roman that says I love strawberries, and people are gonna, the strawberry lovers of the world are gonna come out and buy it. That just isn't true, okay? And don't delude yourself with everything. But it does make people think, oh wow, look at this shit that people buy. I can do that. I can do a text on a mug that says I love my cat, I've got no life, or whatever. Hashtag I love cats. That's not true though. Okay, you can do that, and you can see how well that gets you. What Rachel's done is there's simple text. There might be simple text design, but the text is actually quite witty and funny. Okay, that's very important. Funny things like sarcastic mugs and stuff. And second of all, she's researched the crap out of the niche. She knows there's volume and there's numbers in that niche, and she's keyword optimized the crap out of the listing as well, or at least the title and the bullets. Or even, worst thing with a lot of products, you just do the title. Okay, so it's not that simple. That's just false advertising. I don't know what messages you've seen, but there is very much a system. There's very much a learning curve, and it's something you have to learn. So there's that. The next problem, fairly serious problem. This isn't so much with the course. What the course does is it teaches you how to do print on demand stuff, and it teaches you mainly how to do it using Gearbubble. Gearbubble is, you can go on their website. They sell print-on-demand products, and they also obviously offer drop shipping services. Okay, if you don't know what drop shipping is, you definitely should before you even started this video, so I'm not going to go into it, but that's what Gearbubble do. There are lots and lots and lots of other places based in the USA that do the exact same thing as Gearbubble, sometimes for cheaper, sometimes for more expensive. Now, what happens when you use this system and you follow the program is that you by default learn how to do it on Gearbubble, so you start putting your stuff on Gearbubble. It's kind of like if you're in the Apple ecosystem, the Google ecosystem, it kind of brings you in, and then, let's be honest, we just get too lazy to change. But here's the problem. Gearbubble, I found them very good for mugs. I found them very good for shot glasses and travel mugs or tumblers. Okay, I found them really good for those things, but I found them to be appalling for other stuff. Okay, the worst offenders being shirts, hoodies. I had some shirts when I first started listing products, because initially what you start with is mugs, and also, FYI, with with hundreds of thousands, but with thousands and thousands and thousands of people doing the same thing on the same product, you start to get a very competitive space. But anyway, whatever you do, you should always be looking to differentiate. So what I need to say is, when I did my first when I expanded out from mugs, I thought, okay, I'm going to put some designs on some t-shirts. So I had a few that were selling okay on mugs. I thought let's try them on t-shirts. Gearbubble has t-shirts. Again, you're in the system, so you just use what's there. And I'm not kidding, some of these t-shirts took 3 weeks to be shipped out. And by the way, once they're shipped, that isn't sent. That can still take another 10 days. I start getting customers sending me messages, and it's like, oh, okay, sorry. And after about 3 or 4, I think I had 3 or 4, maybe even more, I can't remember now, but I started getting these t-shirt orders and hoodie orders. And then I got scared, because I'm like, oh no, this is taking way too long. This is like the whole point of this coming from the US is supposed to be that it's quick. This is completely unacceptable. So what I did was I'd been doing some Shopify training and I had learned about T-Launch. They're a fantastic dropshipping company. I thoroughly recommend them. And I thought, right, I'll give T-Launch a try. Now, T-Launch have a marketplace, which is a dropshipping platform, and they also have a Shopify app. I was told by the support there that they're discontinuing their marketplace, but if you want to dropship via T-Launch, you can use their Shopify app, and they will actually refund you the Shopify, your monthly Shopify, basic plan bill, if you're just using it so you can make use of their dropshipping things. Okay, that's fantastic. So I just listed all my designs and stuff. I thought, okay, well, t-shirts and hoodies, other apparel, I'm just going to use T-Launch instead. I won't use Gearbubble for that. And guess what? T-Launch were getting my stuff out within 3 days. And I had no more problem. But what I saw was people in the Facebook group complaining about the t-shirt lead times. Now, eventually, just recently, they changed their provider because obviously they sucked so bad that they had to change everything, about time too. But the problem is other people weren't changing. Now, to me, it was an obvious solution. Find another supplier. You don't have to use Gearbubble for all your stuff. Gearbubble might offer you 15 different products. It doesn't mean that you have to only use Gearbubble for all 15 products. Okay? You can chop and change. The problem is when people come into the Facebook group and they ask, oh, hey guys, can you recommend me a dropshipper for this? Sometimes the posts get deleted because it's kind of like competition for Gearbubble because it's another print on demand. It's another print on demand crowd. So it's just something to think about. But that was one thing. There was a huge problem with that. They sell some other stuff as well. Like there's one factory, the one that does the mugs and shot glasses and travel mugs. That was fantastic. They were always great, nice and fast, out every couple of days. Even in peak season in Christmas, they were doing really well. So nothing to, if you're dealing with mugs, shot glasses, travel mugs, at least I can tell you firsthand, Gearbubble is very good for that. No problem at all. Another big problem they offer a very unique product, which is laser engraved necklaces, which everyone is like, everyone's happy about that because if you look around all the different print on demand places, there's not one that offers nice necklaces. Now, I'm not talking about the shit pendant type things with the crap plastic bubble and the image inside. That is a piece of shit that you get in a gumball. If you've got any integrity, you wouldn't even want to sell something like that. If you go on the Gearbubble website, there's a thing with there's a website with customer complaints against Gearbubble, because don't forget, Gearbubble also acts as a place where people can buy products as well. So the designs you put up are then also for sale on Gearbubble. And some people make sales on there. Now, if you look at the main complaint of people that buy things there, they've got an awfully bad reputation, and a lot of it simply because they advertise these horrible crap cheap necklaces, and in a lot of their kind of training, not in Rachel's training, in Don Wilson, he I think he's the owner of Gearbubble. They're a boyfriend and girlfriend team. Anyway, in a lot of his marketing, he says, "Oh, sell these necklaces for $25, $30, make the price seem like it's a premium item." And there's people, if just go and read the reviews. You don't have to take my word for anything. You can go and read these reviews for yourself. And one guy bought one of these piece of shit necklaces for his wife, and he said, "I almost cried when I saw it because it looked like something out of a gumball machine." Okay, look, if it's a piece of crap $1, one of these plastic thingy necklaces, don't sell it for, have some fucking integrity. Don't sell it for $30, for God's sake. I mean, don't rip people off. That's say what you want, but that's not good, and their track record in that area certainly speaks for itself. So, but we're not really talking about that. What I was saying about was the very unique product they offer, which is laser engraved necklaces. I offered them first as well. Put some designs on there, and I started getting sales, some random ones on eBay and Etsy. And then guess what happened? 3 weeks, fucking 4 weeks. And now again, I've got customers giving me a hard time. Where's my necklace? What's going on? And now I've got the paranoia. Oh my God, is my account going to get in trouble? If this was Amazon, they'd crucify me. Luckily, Etsy's a bit more lenient, and eBay too. I'd be dead. I'd be in big trouble. I mean, don't forget when you drop ship print on demand stuff, especially on Amazon, you really need to, they all say make sure you set your handling time, production time to 15 days. Okay, that's give yourself enough room, and you'll be okay. But what if it takes 30 days? Like I said, Amazon are gonna crush your balls like a vice. So I write to support, the message gets bounced from support. Gearbubble support, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, and this does relate to the course, because if you take this course and you buy this course, you're going to be uploading your products to Gearbubble as well. So this is 100% relevant to you, and I can give you this information right now, and I can save you an awful lot of time and money and headaches if you go through with it. Because, newsflash, you don't need to use Gearbubble. For most things, you shouldn't even bother with them. Anyway, these necklaces, I get through to support. The Gearbubble support is not very good. Okay, the standard Gearbubble support is, in fact, pretty shit. You get the impression it's some underpaid guy in frickin' Vietnam or something. You don't even feel like it's kind of more like you're talking to a robot. And then if you get the email, which is if you write to Rachel reports, anything to do with the mugs, shot glasses, there's a certain warehouse which Rachel runs, then you get to speak to Kim, and she's awesome. Kim is one of the best things about Gearbubble, because if you have any problem with your mugs, your shot glasses, or your travel mugs, Kim is on that shit super fast, and you're taken care of. T-Launch have a fantastic lady also that comes back. She gets back to you so fast, and they fix problems so quickly that you, as somebody offering the drop shipping, you feel safe because you can go back to your customers and reassure them. When you deal with shitty Gearbubble support, they just get the, oh well, sorry about that. They're crap, for the most part, crap. So about the necklaces, I complained in the group. I said these necklaces are just taking way too long, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to sell them anymore because I can't have 3-week lead times. It's ridiculous. And one of the guys in the group was nice enough to reach out to me in a private message and say, oh, did you know that these necklaces are just being drop shipped to Gearbubble from the Netherlands, and I know where the place is that supplies them, and I'm happy to give you the info. Oh yeah, and by the way, Don Wilson, the guy who runs Gearbubble, is just drop shipping this stuff to you direct for like an extra $5, $6, or $7 that goes in his pocket. And not only that, if you've got an order in, I don't know, say Alabama, it doesn't go from Holland to Alabama from the factory. No, it goes from Holland to Pennsylvania, where Gearbubble are located, and it goes from Pennsylvania to Alabama. So you've got a few problems. First of all, Don has made himself, pat on the back for great internet marketing. Thanks for that. You've just drop shipped to the drop shippers, so that's like Inception. So he's made himself an extra $5 to $7 per unit on that. He's taken it through another layer of inefficiency, which is if I have a support problem, I have to go to Gearbubble support, and then those dicks have to go to and they have to go to the Gearbubble support for the website that does the necklaces, and then back and then forward. I don't need to tell you that's completely freaking inefficient, okay? That's not exactly the best supply chain management in the world. And then the third thing, USPS fucks up and loses things all the time, okay? Postal service is, shit happens. And now guess what happens when it has to go from destination A to B and then to C, when it should have just been A to B. There's just another chance for a mess up in the chain. The problem is, I'm still seeing people in the group complain about these freaking necklaces that they can't, they've got a problem, they're taking too long, and I can't go in the group and I can't just say to them, oh, hey guys, here's the website where you need to go to get your necklaces done. Just do it direct and cut Gearbubble out, because Gearbubble do not deserve a piece of that pie in this particular instance, okay? They're like a leech. You don't need to be doing that. You should be going direct. Unfortunately, I can't do that, and it breaks my heart to see people, struggling with these 3-week delays. And by the way, the cost is like $5 or $6 lower when you go direct via the website. Guess what that means? I can be more competitive on price than you, because I haven't got Don sucking on my wallet like a leash, like a leech, okay? And if I can be more competitive on price, I can still have a nice $10 profit margin on those necklaces, which is the standard, okay? And you can't afford to compete with me. And the only reason you can't afford to compete with me is not because you're any worse than me, it's because you don't know that you've been misled. And I think that is 100% wrong. If you're going to drop ship directly, drop ship directly. Say, we are Gearbubble, this is what we make, this is what we ship. Don't fucking double dip drop ship me and mess my margins up and lock me into your system, because again, this is I have nothing bad to say about Rachel, but to me that's dishonest. To me that's dishonest. And the people in these groups, okay, you trust Rachel, you trust Jim Cockrum, you trust Scott Volker. There's an implicit trust there. People don't want to rock the boat, people don't want to say negative things, people don't want to feel stupid. And I think that's taking advantage, or as we say in the UK, I think that's taking the piss just a little bit. So that's really important to know, because to me that says, okay, if this guy Don Wilson, who runs Gearbubble, who's a big time internet marketer, very successful entrepreneur, if he's the sort of person that's going to do that, drop ship to a drop shipper, then what else is he going to do? That really, really makes me question his integrity. And now I think to myself, hey, I wonder if the t-shirts were taking 3 weeks because they were being double dipped. I don't know. But it's a big problem. And like I said, Gearbubble support is trash. For the most part, they've got some very nice support people, but I mean, I even had a case recently over 2 months. I was trying to get back $100. I had bought a Gearbubble credit. I had clicked purchase. I got a 502 page error. My phone pinged. I got billed $100, and I look at my credit in the Gearbubble dashboard, and it hadn't changed. I'm still 2 months later, and I'm only even going for it out of principle. And all support have managed to come back and tell me, by the way, after 2 times, once my case got closed automatically, twice, I got Don's email directly, reached out to him, he bounced me back to an actual English-speaking human being called Jade, or Jane, I can't remember, but she was nice. And she said, oh, sorry, we can't do anything, we can't see the transaction. You're going to have to call your bank and do a chargeback. I don't want to call my bank and do a chargeback. First of all, how is it that money's gone somewhere and you can't see it? Can you not just credit my account? Oh, no, apparently not. And now I have to get on the phone and wait 20, 30 minutes, make an international call to my bank to talk to those asswipes, which I really don't want to do, to get a charge reversed from 2 months ago. Which, by the looks of it, because I've tried to pursue it as much as I can. Go read the 4-Hour Work Week and read the bit where Tim Ferriss says one of the best things he did in his supplement business when he ran it was giving employees leeway of up to $100 to solve a problem, i.e., they were allowed up to $100 to solve problems, and that would quickly keep customers happy, keep the wheel spinning, okay? It's taken me 2 months, I still haven't got my $100, and now I'm pissed. And guess what? Now I'm on a video. But this is important because, again, you're taught to dropship with Gearbubble, and it's all part of the process. And by the way, I still use Gearbubble for the mugs and stuff because I can't be bothered to upload my catalog to say T-Launch. They do mugs as well, and their pricing is $1 cheaper. So most of the reason I use Gearbubble is because it was what I started with. But like I said, it's $4.95 for a white 11-ounce mug on Gearbubble. I believe, I might be wrong on this, I might have to double check in case they've updated the price, but I believe it was $3.95 on T-Launch, or it may have been their shipping was slightly cheaper. But both prices are fairly competitive. Some other places like print-on-demand apps like Printful, they're much more expensive, even for the white mugs. So I wanted to throw that out there. That's an important part. This isn't just me rambling. It's not because I'm salty. It is an important part of, if you deal with Rachel, you deal with Gearbubble. If you deal with Gearbubble, you deal with Don Wilson. Which actually also could be a problem because all their whole business is like mixed in together. Factories are mixed in together. And I think, well, if those guys split up, what happens to Gearbubble? What happens to me? Because they continuously cross-promote each other's stuff as well. It's like, well, if they split up, and guess what? Shit happens. People split up. What happens to all the assets and the division and everything? I mean, that could get really messy and really weird, and it makes me think that that could affect my business. So I have to think about it. So That's just one thing I'll randomly throw out there. I'm sure, I'm sure it sounds terrible, but come on, guys, let's be realistic. Eh? We're not. This is not Romeo and Juliet. It always worries me whenever I see a husband and wife run any kind of business because it's like, all right, husband and wife. I've got a wife. I know how it goes, but all right, fair enough. So next thing I want to say is the Facebook group. Yeah, sometimes things get shut down in there. It's difficult to have discussions about the pricing on other things where you might be getting a better deal because naturally that goes against their interests. So that's just a small thing, but generally speaking, the group is pretty good for most other things. So I just wanted to transition away from like my main critiques. So I'll recap that obviously the course is very good. Gearbubble is less than fantastic, and I think the last thing I want to say is a lot of the sales bonuses, what they do is they throw in something called free integrations, and they say, oh, you can go hands off, just list your stuff with Gearbubble integration, and then all your Amazon sales are going to be automated. Now they've got an Etsy integration, they've got I believe they've got a Shopify one, and an eBay one. And they charge Don Master Internet Marketer Wizard charges like I think $50 a month, $30 a month for each integration. So you're going to be paying him $30 or more per month to make use of his integrations, which plugs in Gearbubble to all the other sites. Okay. So for the Amazon integration, I mean, a lot of people use it, a lot of people like it. It can be quite buggy at times. There's quite often messages in the Facebook groups about it not pulling in orders and stuff, but generally speaking, it seems to be okay. They have, like I said, they have an Etsy one now. They have Shopify, and they have eBay. So part of the sales benefit is, you get the integrations. You're going to save $200 a month on integrations, yada yada yada. But realistically, when you put things in, say, and you want to use the integration to list it on Amazon, you still have to physically go into the Amazon listing and put in properly optimized Amazon titles. You still have to have properly optimized Amazon bullets, description, all that stuff. That still needs to be filled out and done. And if you're serious about selling on Amazon, you better be ready to learn about how to optimize certain things, because it's not so easy. And the same thing with eBay. You still have to bring a certain level to the game. And the one thing I want to say about this is they make a big deal out of these integrations, but let's be honest, most integrations, especially the Shopify ones, print on demand stuff, they're all free. Okay, they're free, Shopify integrations, but T-Launch integrates with Etsy as well. They don't charge you anything. So personally, I feel that Don is being a little bit greedy. Again, I'm not saying he's a bad marketer. He knows his stuff. He knows his Facebook pixel. He's very good at advertising, whatever. Nothing against him as a human being. But I think he's been just a little bit greedy on the integration thing. If those guys can do it for free, I think probably could take the price down. I mean, I might be talking out of my bottom, maybe, but why should there be a paid Shopify integration with Gearbubble when I could upload all my mug designs and hoodie designs to T-Launch or Printful, and I can do it for free, and everything happens for free, and nobody's going to be sucking off $50 a month from my bank account? Or I can buy this course and you give it to me as if I'm getting some kind of a benefit, but really it's kind of an invisible benefit, because I don't necessarily need that anyway. It's like saying, if you buy this course now, instead of paying $50 a month for somebody to put gas in your car, you will get it for free. But it's like, well, I can just put the gas in my car myself and I won't have to pay $50 anyway. So that's just one small thing that I definitely think is worth mentioning. Other than that, Gearbubble's got pretty good. I quite like their dropship dashboard. It's quite easy to keep track of things. It's pretty good. Works most of the time. Sometimes they have server errors, but again, it's all part of the system. So I just want to wrap up this one and just reiterate those few points. So I think probably $1,000. My personal opinion, that's too expensive. I would say maybe $500. But if you do decide to spend the money, it's a very good course. Again, I want to say Rachel's she publishes really good information. She does really good blog posts. She's comes across at least as a very genuine and sincere person, and I have nothing but respect for her. I like what she does. I like her message. I like her style. And it's a very, very nice bunch of people in the selling group. It doesn't seem to me like a lot of them are particularly successful. Like they seem to be happy if they get one sale a month or something on Amazon. But you can still do well with this system, but it does take work. You might need like 3,000 designs listed on Amazon. Some people can do it, unless some people do it more, but generally most people seem to need a lot more designs. But that's the way it's taught. The way it's taught is, you upload, you get your designs, and then you upload them to multiple products, and then you list multiple products. It's kind of a shotgun approach, but it does work. Like I said, I've been successful with it myself, so it can be tricky and it can be time intensive, and you do need to build a system. You do need to have something. Like I have a guy who helps me with the Photoshop images and stuff like that. I have a VA to help me with the research and all that stuff, but obviously because my level is different from somebody who's completely new. So there's that to bear in mind. Another thing is it's drop shipping. A lot of people are getting into Etsy more now because Etsy's less saturated. It's still, for the moment, but I mean a lot of other POD sites are, the internet marketing crowd are coming on there hard now. But Etsy's pretty easy to optimize. I prefer, it's a lot nicer selling platform in my opinion than Amazon. They're a lot less strict. The user interface is a lot nicer. I'm not even going to go there on eBay because they're terrible user interface, but you can still make sales there as well. It can be quite tricky on Amazon to get seen with these print-on-demand mugs, and it definitely seems like when you send them into FBA, you do get a lot more exposure, and then obviously you can run ads. You've got a lot more control, but the problem is, again, a lot of people buy into the system because they don't want to buy inventory. So that's definitely something that needs to be taken into account. The other side of things, I just want to say, if you do buy the course, by all means do it. Don't necessarily use Gearbubble, okay? Use Gearbubble for mugs. Use it for shot glasses. Use it for travel mugs or whatever. Don't use it for apparel. Don't use it for necklaces. Never use it for necklaces because they don't even make those. They just drop ship them to you. If you want to know more about the necklaces, by all means, send me a message. I will hook you directly up. It's not difficult. So again, other places I like for print-on-demand stuff: T-Launch, fantastic. Printful, also good, but a bit pricier for some things. Those are two of the main ones. I've used them. They're pretty great. A lot quicker and a lot better than Gearbubble. So if you are going to do it, please, please, please don't limit yourself. Don't feel that just because this training is taught using Gearbubble as an example, that's because Rachel's boyfriend owns Gearbubble, okay? By all means, do some price shopping, look around, and feel free to integrate yourself with other print-on-demand systems because it's not any more difficult than it is using Gearbubble. These are all print-on-demand dropshipping platforms, so please don't limit yourself. But by all means, ask questions in the group. It's a very good system. I just don't like some of the Gearbubble stuff. I don't like their support, and I quite frankly don't like Don Wilson very much. You just get the impression he's, although he's competent, he's like some greasy used car salesman. I don't trust his products. I don't like his marketing style. Although he's very good at what he does, there's just a few things that have happened that make me think, you know what, your reputation and integrity is important, and I don't think those are good things. I don't think lying to people and double dip drop shipping, adding that layer of inefficiency and keeping it quiet, I don't think that's a good thing. And by all means, anyone watching this, you're welcome to form your own opinions. You might think he's a wonderful man, but would you think he was wonderful if you found out he was secretly ripping off $5 or $6 on top of your orders, whilst he was, pretending that, oh, these are our necklaces, these are great, look what we can offer that nobody else can offer. I don't know. You make that decision for yourself, and tell me what you think. So that's pretty much it. Again, I hope this was useful for you. I hope I haven't pissed anyone off too much. I hope this will probably get me kicked out of another group. And I hope I haven't upset or insulted anyone too much, but that's the truth. If you're interested in the course, that's my opinion. Those are the pros, those are the cons. I hope it was very helpful for you, and I'm going to be back, I think, with the next one. I'm going to look at some of Ezra Firestone's stuff. Maybe I'll do Adrian Morrison's thing, but there's a few more things to come, and I'm going to be putting up a Facebook group for brutally honest e-commerce reviews as well, where basically I think it's time that people had a platform to exchange their honest opinions of courses, what they think of them, their pros, cons. And I'm not just talking, I don't want a platform just to slam things. I want to talk about, get different people's opinions on what worked, what you think was good, bad. If you think I'm an asshole and I'm wrong, by all means, everyone can have an opinion. There's going to be no affiliate, anything, any sign of shilling is going to go straight out the door. And I'm going to put a link in the description to this new group. I don't know how much action is going to be going on there, but I think we need an independent place to talk about these things before we go spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 more. If you like this stuff, if you want to read more about private label, come and have a look at my site, which is www.dan-moody.com. Mainly I talk about Amazon stuff, but I'm going to have some things planned for Shopify. Maybe some materials on print on demand. If you want to know more about Amazon pay-per-click, Amazon keyword research, and how to get good at that for an extremely low price, again, come and check out the site. Have a look at the PPC section. So thanks for listening, and I will catch you on my next brutal review.